Let's be honest. The moment a woman shares her real fears with you, the light surface level, once something inside her has already shifted. This isn't drama. It isn't vulnerability for attention. It's risk. And women don't take emotional risks with men they don't see a future with. If you're paying attention, you'll realize those fears aren't weakness. They're signals. Quiet, serious signals most men either misunderstand or overlook until it's too late. When a woman speaks about being abandoned, replaced, or not being enough, she isn't asking you to fix her. She's watching how safe your presence feels to her nervous system. Safety isn't built with compliments. It's built with consistency. Underneath every word, her mind is asking one question. Will this man still be here when I am not perfect? If that answer feels unclear, she begins pulling away long before you notice. Here's the truth. Most men never hear. Women don't open up when they already feel secure. They open up when they're deciding whether to trust you with their future. That moment is delicate. It's quiet. And it passes quickly. When she admits fears about time, age, past mistakes, or being hurt again, she's showing you the cost of loving her. That's not casual. That's an audition for permanence. Notice how these fears often surface late at night or during emotionally charged moments that don't seem planned. That's not coincidence. Her defenses are lower. Logic is quieter. Emotion is honest. She's revealing the parts of herself she usually shields with strength, humor, or independence, and she's measuring your response more than your words. Most men think reassurance is the right move. It isn't. Empty reassurance feels hollow. What she's scanning for is emotional presence. Can you stay with discomfort without trying to escape it? Can you listen without minimizing? Can you hold space without redirecting the focus to yourself? If you rush to solve, she feels unseen. If you dismiss, she feels unsafe. If you stay calm and grounded, she feels chosen. Here's where many men fail without realizing it. They treat her fears like temporary issues instead of long-term truths. But fear doesn't vanish with time. It quiets only when trust replaces it. And trust isn't built through intensity. It's built through repetition, showing up the same way, even when nothing exciting is happening. When she shares fears about the future, she's already picturing you in it. She's wondering how you handle stress, conflict, distance, and silence. She's asking herself whether you're stable enough to build something real with. This is the stage where attraction either deepens into attachment or fades quietly. Understand this clearly. A woman protecting her heart will never expose its deepest fears to a man she plans to lose. If she does, it means she's already hoping you'll stay. When she talks about fearing the loss of herself in a relationship, pay attention. This isn't rebellion or independence posturing. It's the echo of a woman who loved deeply before and paid for it. She's afraid that choosing you might cost her parts of who she is. That fear only appears when the choice truly matters. Women don't worry about losing themselves with men they don't take seriously. Casual connections don't threaten identity, but a man who feels like home does, because home changes you. It rearranges priorities. It reshapes routines. And she's silently asking whether loving you will cost her too much. When she says she's scared of getting attached too fast, what she really means is that she already feels it happening. Attachment isn't logical. It doesn't ask permission. She's trying to slow something that feels inevitable. That fear is a pause, not an exit. She's checking whether you'll handle the road carefully. Another fear that often surfaces is repeating old patterns. She may mention past relationships that drained her or broke her trust. This isn't comparison. It is calibration. She's measuring you against pain, not other men. She's asking whether you'll be another chapter she survives or a future she builds. Many men feel accused here. They shouldn't. This isn't personal. It's her nervous system protecting itself. Trauma doesn't care how good you are. Familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace at first. That's why patience matters more than charm. If she speaks about fearing emotional dependence, listen closely. This fear comes from women who learn to be self-sufficient out of necessity, not preference. Letting someone matter again feels like walking into traffic without armor. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When she shares these fears, She's testing your emotional maturity instinctively, not consciously. She's watching whether you become defensive, impatient, or distant, or whether you remain grounded. A grounded man doesn't rush her. He doesn't demand certainty. He doesn't interpret fear as rejection. Silence in these moments can be powerful, not cold silence, but calm silence, the kind that says, "I'm not afraid of this conversation." That steadiness communicates more than promises ever could. Women decide their future with a man long before they say it out loud. These fears are the doorway to that decision. How you respond determines whether she steps through or quietly closes it forever. Understand this. A woman revealing fears is offering you the most honest version of herself. She doesn't do that twice. If it goes wrong, there's a specific fear women only share when they re-emotionally invested the fear of not being chosen long-term. Not today, not tomorrow, but when things become difficult, routine, or inconvenient. When she says she's afraid you'll wake up one day and want something different, she isn't being insecure. She's being aware. She knows attraction alone doesn't keep a man. Character does. This fear comes from watching men leave once novelty fades and real life begins. And when she admits this to you, she's asking whether you understand what staying actually requires: consistency when excitement dips, loyalty when options appear, integrity when no one is watching. Women don't fear being alone. They fear investing in the wrong man. Being alone is familiar. Being wrong is expansively, mentally, biologically. Time matters differently to women, even when they don't say it. Another fear that signals long-term intent is the fear of becoming too emotional with you. This isn't about drama. It's about exposure. She's asking whether you'll respect her softness or use it against her later. These fears are rarely stated directly. She may say she's afraid of being misunderstood or giving more than she receives. Translation: she is asking whether you re-emotionally aware enough to notice her effort before resentment builds. Strength without attunement feels lonely to a woman. She doesn't need domination. She needs recognition without ego. One of the deepest fears she may share is about emotional safety during conflict. She might mention arguments that turned cold, cruel, or dismissive in the past. She isn't afraid of disagreement. She's afraid of how you fight. Because how a man handles conflict tells a woman how he'll handle responsibility. Men often disqualify themselves here by joking, deflecting, or minimizing, not from malice, but discomfort. And discomfort reads as emotional immaturity. When a woman shares fears about emotional safety, she's handing you a map to her heart. Ignore it, and she eventually walk alone. Respect it, and she begin anchoring herself to you emotionally without announcing it. Women don't reveal these fears to feel better. They reveal them to decide. And once that decision is made, it's rarely reversed. One of the rarest fears she shares when imagining permanence is the fear of becoming invisible over time, not unloved, overlooked. When she says she's afraid of being taken for granted, she's asking whether you see love as maintenance or conquest. Another fear that signals intent is emotional imbalance, giving more than she receives. This isn't scorekeeping. It's self-respect. She already feels herself leaning in, and she's checking whether you're moving too. When she worries about being too much, that fear came from being tolerated instead of cherished. She's asking whether you can meet her depth without retreating. There's also fear around settling, choosing comfort over passion, stability over desire. This isn't dissatisfaction with you. It's the weight of choosing for life. At this stage, she's no longer dating potential. She's dating patterns. And patterns matter. Here's the truth most men never hear. When a woman shares fears like these, she's already emotionally invested. The question isn't whether she likes you, it's whether she trusts you enough to tie her future to yours. A man who stays present here doesn't stand out because he has answers, but because he isn't afraid of the questions. Women don't share these fears hoping you'll convince them. They share them to see who you are when fantasy fades and reality steps in. So, ask yourself honestly. When she shared her fears, did you try to prove yourself, or did you simply show up consistently? If this resonated, like the video, subscribe for more truths men aren't taught, and share this with someone who needs to hear it before it's too late.